During this pandemic, one of the things I've missed most is the magic of the Disney parks. So while I'm waiting until I can eventually make a safe return back to them, I decided to research some interesting Disney history in Dublin. So let's begin our virtual Disney walking tour with Raglan Road. Raglan Road is a famous street for many different reasons, but it serves as the inspiration for the popular Raglan Road pub at Disney Springs in Walt Disney World. First opened in 2005, the Raglan Road pub you can visit in Orlando was actually built right here in Dublin. Made using Irish materials, furniture, fittings, antiques and art, it was created by a team of Irish craftspeople, then disassembled, shipped over to Walt Disney World and reassembled where it stands today in Disney Springs. Here in this gorgeous little area known as Fitzgeralds Square, we can find the Irish offices of the Walt Disney Company. The lovely folk in here are responsible for the distribution and marketing of Disney, Pixar, Touchstone, Marvel and Lucasfilm movies all across Ireland. Walt Disney himself has a family history here in Ireland. His great-grandfather emigrated to America in 1834, where his son Keppel and another Irish-born immigrant, Mary, married and gave birth to Walt's father, Elias Disney. In 1946, he began work on the production that would eventually become Darby O'Gill and the Little People, a story all about leprechauns and Irish folklore. He visited Dublin with his wife Lillian to first research it in 1946, where he met with figures like former President Sean T. O'Kelly and Eamon de Valera. When researching for the movie, Walt Disney enlisted the help of Irish Folklore Commission director Seamus O'Dealirga, who would regularly purchase books to send back to Walt. In fact, the Hodges Ficus on Dawson Street had a special Walt Disney account to keep log of all the titles, which include West Irish Folktales, Making of Ireland and Hidden Ireland. It would be another 13 years before Darby O'Gill and the Little People would finally be released. The movie had its world premiere in 1959 in Dublin's very own Theatre Royal, where Walt himself was the guest of honour, alongside many Irish stars. Unfortunately, the Theatre Royal was demolished in 1962 and the Screen Cinema was eventually built in its place, which itself was then demolished in 2019, leaving only a construction site today. On the same trip, Walt took a casual stroll through the city's famous Stephen's Green Park, where this well-known photo of him was taken on the bridge. Probably the greatest source of Disney magic in Dublin is the Disney Store on world-famous Grafton Street. First opened in 2011, the store is celebrating their 10th anniversary this year. It's a huge store with 3 floors for guests to explore, including a princess room, a theatre, and a D350 zone to take photos with some of your favourite Marvel and Star Wars characters. The cast members here are incredibly kind and helpful and have hosted some Disney celebrities in the store, like former CCO of Disney and Pixar Animation Studios, John Lasseter, as well as Lee Unkrich and Darla Anderson, the directors and producers of Coco. Taking a look at some more recent history, the long room in the world-famous Old Library at Trinity College was used as inspiration for the Jedi archives in Star Wars Episode II: Attack of the Clones. In fact, George Lucas had never asked for permission to use the library's likeness, and Trinity considered taking legal action against him, but nothing ever came of this. Speaking of Star Wars, O'Connell Street itself has some fun Star Wars history. Probably the most iconic landmark in Dublin is the Spire, a 398-foot silver monument. However, the day before The Force Awakens premiered in 2015, the Spire was transformed into a giant lightsaber to promote the film. Staying on O'Connell Street, Luke Skywalker himself, Mark Hamill, was the first international guest of honour at Dublin St. Patrick's Day Parade in 2018. He rode down O'Connell Street with his wife and greeted many adoring Star Wars fans, including me. Also on O'Connell Street is the Savoy Cinema, which is usually the host of many Disney movie premieres and red carpets, including ones for Inside Out and Star Wars. Back in 2014, the 8th theatrical film featuring the Muppets, Muppets Most Wanted, was released. In the movie, Ricky Gervais and the Muppets cast go on a world tour, eventually stopping in Dublin. Originally, the production crew were supposed to film a lot more in Dublin, but ended up using sets in other locations instead. However, during these scenes at the train station, we can see some of the real buildings around O'Connell Bridge. If we travel a few minutes down to the end of the River Liffey, we can find Dublin Port, where the Disney Magic cruise ship first docked in Dublin in 2016. Right in the heart of Smithfield, we can find Brown Bag Films, an animation studio originally founded in Dublin in 1994. They have an impressive CV of productions they've created, including some great ones for Disney, like Vampirina, Doc McStuffins, and Henry Hugglemonster. The Emmys and Golden Globes in their lobby are just some proof of their really great work. Right beside Brown Bag Film Studios is the Lighthouse Cinema, another venue that has hosted premieres for Disney, including Dumbo and Ralph Breaks the Internet. And speaking of animation studios, back in 1979 while Disney were working on The Fox and the Hound, 11 animators including Don Bluth, John Pomeroy and Gary Goldman left Disney to create their own animation studio. Most of these animators had worked on Disney films such as Sleeping Beauty, The Sword and the Stone, Robin Hood, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, and The Rescuers to name a few. They made movies in Ventura, Studio City and Van Nuys before moving the studio to Ireland. They opened in Dublin with a staff of 85 people. During the studio's time in Ireland, they created iconic animated films like The Land Before Time, Thumbelina, All Dogs Go to Heaven, and Bluth and Goldman would later direct Anastasia. The studio closed in 1995.